Crap, I need a haircut. Anyway, hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do kind of a mid-month wrap-up. I've read 3 books, and some of that was from Tome Topple, so it's kind of a Tome Topple wrap-up as well. So I have 3 books that I finished, 1 I DNF'd, and then I kind of want to just mention that I have a lot of library books that I'm going to read in the next week. So let's just get into this. So the first book that I read was for my SciFi book club, and it was The City in the City by China Melville. Now, I did read this 5 years ago, so this was a reread, except this was a reread that I actually felt like I had never read it before. Even though I remembered parts of it, I didn't remember it enough that it felt like it was a reread. It really felt like a new read. I caught so many things I did not catch the first time around, and I really enjoyed our discussion at the book club for this. So this is a book that's pretty much a police procedural, but it has a fantastical element of 2 cities that occupy kind of the same space. So they're kind of dimensional. They can kind of see each other, but they're not supposed to see the other side. They're supposed to unsee things, and I think that was a really cool point in the world building. And I think he did that a really good job of that, because we do that every day where we unsee things. And that's Cooper trying to have attention here. But I really enjoyed this because, again, it was a really easy read because of the mystery element of it, of the murder mystery. And anyway, but I really liked the fantastical elements of these 2 cities overlapping and how they had to have a border crossing where it was technically, that's the only space where they both kind of occupied, and everywhere else it was, one or the other, and you could, as I said, faintly see the other country all the time. So the mystery itself was different and weird too, so it wasn't quite like a normal, there was kind of some weird twists and turns, but overall I really liked this. I liked the narrator to the story. It was the detective Tybor Burlu, something. I'm sorry, I can't say. But I really liked him as the narrator and following his story because he was the main character to this story. So I did find him reliable, which I like, and I enjoyed this. And as I said, it was really weird to read something 5 years later and be like, totally like, oh, I forgot that. Oh, I forgot that. And I really enjoyed it the second time around. So I'm glad we got to read this again, and I actually read it too, because I would not have remembered anything if we'd started discussing it. So anyway, I enjoyed that, and if you're one of the lighter reads of China Melville, that would be the one I would choose, because a lot of his stuff is really new, weird, and this was kind of, I would say, one of the more accessible ones to people. Then for Tome Topple, I got to go back and finish The Witchwood Crown by Tad Williams. Now, again, this is my most anticipated book of the year. I love this book. This book was awesome, and I'm so glad I finished it. I did start this about a month before, but I got distracted by other books and a vacation, and so I put it down, and then I picked it back up for Tome Topple, and I'm glad I finished it during that, because it was so good, and I enjoyed every night coming home and being able to read on it. And as much as it's really hard to read this hardback, which again, I don't normally buy hardbacks, except this was a series that I have in hardback, so I don't know, I bought the hardback. I don't know what I was thinking. But I do love this book. Again, this is the first book in the new trilogy, The Last King of Ostenard. The Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn trilogy was written 20 years before, and I would recommend reading those first before picking this up. There's so much stuff from that trilogy that relates to this one that I think it's better if you read the first trilogy first before getting to this. I know that's quite of a commitment, but it's so worth it. I love Tad Williams' writing, and I love the characters in this. I love the fact we're following people in that book that I loved into this book 30 years later, and seeing how the world has changed, gotten better or worse. And there was a lot of twists and turns that I caught. Some of them I didn't, or not to the end of this book. And the end of the book was phenomenal for cliffhanger. There was like half of the characters were in jeopardy at the end, and it was great. And I cannot wait for the second book, which of course he's just now finishing, so I have a little time to wait. But I still think it was worth the read, and I am already looking forward to my reread next year, or whenever the next book is coming out. I'll probably either reread this or get the audiobook or something, because I will probably read it before the second book. I'm just so excited, and I totally recommend that book, especially if you read Misery, Sorrow, and Thorn series. If not, read that series and then read this. I promise you will not regret that. And then I was going to read a book that had been on my shelf for years, and I pulled it in my TBR jar. I challenged myself. I'll link that video down below of where I explain about it. But I'm trying to read through a lot of books that I own that I haven't gotten to. And so this one popped up in June, which was Tigana by Guy Gabriel Kay. And I've read I don't know how the Tapestry trilogy, the Finavar or something, Tapestry trilogy, which had The Summer Tree and The Darkest Road, and I can never remember the third book. I read them so many years ago, like over 10 years ago, and I liked them. They weren't great, but I enjoyed it, and they gave me all the feels. I mean, it was heart-wrenching the end of book 2, but anyway. So I bought this afterwards thinking I'll try another one of his books, and I heard this was a standalone, so I thought, oh, I'll do this one. I did not like this book, or I didn't get very far. I read the first 50 pages, and that was a struggle to get to that point. I found the narration very hard to get into, the writing style. I thought world building was probably going to work. I don't think there was any problem with that. Again, I liked the prelude or whatever, the beginning chapter, but then it got into, years later, and the characters there were just annoying. I guess I had issues right from the start. Everyone seemed so immature, and again, they were, I think the main character that started, Devin, was like 19. So yes, he is young, but in a world where he's been out on his own for years, with this troop that he's with, I had real trouble dealing with that. And then something happened around page 50 that made me put the book down. And let's just say it had to do with the closet and in just idiotic move. I don't know. It's just stupid. Anyway, I cannot get past that, and I have too many other books to read to make myself read a book that just because I bought this years ago that I should read it. So this book is actually going to get sold or get rid of or donated or something, because I'm not going to read this, and I just don't think he's for me, this writer, or at least not this book, and I don't know if I'm going to try anything else. So anyway, so that was kind of disappointing. So I gave up on that. So I went to my backup plan, which was The Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Ames, and this was funny. I really enjoyed this. This was a good romp, kind of that buddy, the buddy travel story. And these older guys are old mercenaries who have been out of the game for like 20 years. And they get back together because one of their daughters became a mercenary and she got herself into some trouble. So he's out to save her, and he talks his bandmates from before to rejoin, to get all together, and they were going to go and save her. I thought this was so funny. It was a really fast read for what it was, and it was just fun. It was just all over, and I love the main character, Clay Cooper. He's one of my new favorite characters. I liked him. He was very relatable in how he was thinking about things, and he was funny. It was just fun. All the characters, their banter was awesome. So I totally recommend this book if you like fantasy, especially if you like it with action. There's a lot of action because, again, they're fighting monsters and things in the and it's just so much fun. I don't know, gladiators and stuff. I don't know, but it was really fun. So I would recommend this book for anybody who wants something fun and adventurous. And as I said, even though it was big, like I said, it was really a fast read. I didn't technically finish with Tome Topple, which ended on the 17th. I actually had to read it the next 2 days to finish it up because I had like 150 pages left. But overall, for Tome Topple, I read over 1,050 pages. So I think that came out to about 70 pages a day, which is a good average for me. I usually try to average about 50 pages a day. So for 2 weeks to average out to about 70 is pretty good. So, and I'm doing really well for the whole month. So that's pretty good. So anyway, so just real quick. So what I'm going to be reading next is a lot of library books because, as I said, they all kind of came in at the same time, and I need to get them read and done. So probably stuff in the next that I'm either going to try. These are all I'm going to try, and then we'll see if I actually read them. So I don't know what I'm really going to read. These are all just options. So again, Seven Surrenders by Ada Palmer, which is the second book in the Terra Ignatus trilogy, the one after Two Light Lightning. So I'm going to try that. Saga Volume 7. I got to read this because it's due. So I will read that one. Just One Damn Thing After Another by Jodi Taylor. I've just heard about this for time travel stuff or fantasy, so looks fun. I have a little romance. Romancing the Duke by Tessa Dare. Never read anything by her, but some people were raving about her, so I thought I'd try. And then We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. And this is for the Restricted Sections Book Club, so I'll link that down below. But I'm looking forward to reading that in early September. But I might read it early because it's a library book. So anyway, that's all I got right now. That's kind of my wrap-up. Tome Topple, mid-month, and what I'm probably going to read in the next, some of those books that I'll probably read in the next week. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.